Okay. Welcome everyone to the Southwestern Village Council meeting. Today is Monday, October 23rd, 7 p.m. Please put your hand over your heart. Join us in our pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Mr. Galati will take the roll.
Bell.
Here.
Berger.
Here.
Canton is absent. Kavanaugh. Here. Kalicky.
Here.
Porter.
Here. We have minutes from the October 9th special council meeting. Any changes or corrections to those minutes?
Move to approve.
Hearing none, moved by Porter, seconded by?
Second.
By,
Either one.
Licky. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are passed. We have minutes from the October 9th regular council meeting. Any changes or corrections in those minutes? Hearing none, moved by Porter, seconded by Galicki. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes have passed. Okay. Next, we have a motion to appoint a new part-time police officer, Malik Mezian. So I will swing around here and we'll get started.
You get it right?
Malik appoints Shukran. We had the pleasure of interviewing Malik a couple times. The committee met, and you met the qualifications that we like in a police officer. We think you're going to be a success here. For the family to know, we will do everything we can to protect him, move his career along, and just make this a good experience. With the chief here and with the people up front here, we really take pride in our police officers and pride in what they do. They're very well respected in the community. So, Chief, I'll let you say a few words before we do the actual appointing.
Thank you. Malik came to us. He is with the Cleveland Police Department right now. He's been with them for 3 years, and prior to that, he was with the University Hospitals Police Department since 2018. He came to us, the last application that came through the door, last minute, and he was the best candidate that we had. So Malik is here. We're looking forward to getting him sworn in part-time and having him start with us.
Okay. As mayor, I'd like to get a motion to appoint Malik Mezian to the position of part-time police officer.
So moved.
So moved by the acting head of the
Safety Committee.
Second.
And on behalf of Councilwoman Kavanaugh and the HR committee, we would like to second that motion.
Discussion.
So the mayor has appointed, we're moving to confirm.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. The official part is done.
Thank you.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Malik Mezian,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully,
faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially discharge
and impartially discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of part-time patrolman
of part-time patrolman
in the village of South Russell
in the village of South Russell
in Geauga County, Ohio.
in Geauga County, Ohio.
You are now official. This is your badge, Philippines, but we'll start here with Ruth Kavanaugh right behind you. They like to congratulate.
Thank you so much.
Mike, welcome to Southwest.
Thank you, Greg.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Reed, nice to see you.
It's nice to see you. Thank you.
Chris Bell, congratulations.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd like him to know he'd be escorting me out at the Cleveland Clinic if I worked at 3 to 11.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I did.
Daniel, nice to meet you, Malik. Absolutely, thank you. You guys want to get on to the bigger decision? All right.
It is, I was just saying, it's like, we gotta
All right. All right.
Thank you. Do you want more pictures or anything?
Oh, one more, but you should, yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Oops, sorry.
That's all I'm gonna do.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. 4. 1, 2, 3.
All right. All right. Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, if you want to stick around, you can.
Oh, you have to work this morning. You might want to always get
Take care. God bless.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
We'll meet you. Yes, thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Thank you.
What's my favorite part? Nothing German.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, we are at the mayor's report. First thing actually pertains to the police. 2 weeks ago in the Plain Dealer, this is a newspaper for you young guys that don't read newspapers. This is an article that's actually put out.
You're right.
This is it's an excellent summary of the 12-hour shifts, and it's one of the smartest things I think we did. So it's a nice to hear about the 12-hour shifts. Secondly, our fire prevention officer is going to go to school to become an accredited fire marshal. So he's doing this through the Center for Public Safety Excellence. So I just wanted to let you know about that. For those of you who may be watching, at our next meeting, which is in 3 weeks, on Monday, November 13th, we'll be talking about sidewalks and crosswalks. We've had requests from Rolling Ridge, we've had requests for sidewalks along East Washington in the business area, requests for sidewalks to gain access to the park, and requests for crosswalks. This is a big item. This is could be a controversial, could be a very divisive item also. If you follow it in the paper with Pepper Pike, and you can drive through there now, and you've got yes, no signs all over the place on sidewalks. So it's something that we've discussed over the years, and some people will be here on Monday, on the 13th. This is a long process. There's probably going to have to be a vote. So it's not like we're going to have sidewalks next spring. So I just want to let people know that ahead of time. Went to the NOACA annual meeting. It's a very interesting meeting. They gave us these little gifts, which has a history of NOACA on it. So if you ever want to take the history of NOACA, you know how to operate that. It was a very good meeting in what is going on in the whole 5-county area with NOACA. Probably the best part is they ended up having lunch with some people who are into solar, small-time solar, basically, with townships and little villages. So they're going to contact us and talk about things that we can do. I told them we looked at solar, but 15-year payback was just not going to make it, and they got some other ideas. So we may have something coming up. Chagrin Valley Dispatch met last week, 2 weeks ago. Our bill is basically going to be about $60,000 a year for dispatch services. If you're planning on coming to the Veterans Luncheon on November the 13th, please just let me know. Hopefully, you've all walked by or driven by 131 Fairview. There's been no change in that property. Just wanted to let you know, and wanted to make sure you've all seen it by now. A couple of people have contacted me on the issue of what's going on in Israel, and do we need to do anything as far as notice to the public? I don't think so at this time, but I guess people need to know when Israel happened, for one homeowner especially, Jewish homeowner, there's the same night kids were stealing their pumpkins off their front porch, wearing masks, scared the living daylights out of these people. And that's about all I can say. It just, people talking about things going on, but it was just, the timing was just terrible as far as terrorizing this particular family, not terrorizing, just scaring them with, the mask, and all of a sudden somebody's on your Ring doorbell camera. Just, it really shocked them. Also, to let people know, the reappraisal, the property tax reappraisal, there's all sorts of numbers floating around. It will be an unvoted increase on most people's property tax. So more information will be coming. This is something that was done by the county. It's done every 6 years, and it has some effect. Your taxes are going to go up.
And it's mandated by the state.
Yes, mandated by the state. And also, Dennis, you'll do the fire and police discussion about their pension?
Sure.
Coming. Okay. Other than that, I do have a lot of information from the WACA, but I'll just.
Where was the NOACA meeting, Bill?
WACA was at the Huntington Convention Center. It was, there were people from all over. That at our table, it's interesting. There were people there from the railroad promoting rail transportation, across the country. We had somebody from a labor union, somebody, a bicyclist, and then two people who deal with small municipalities and energy council. So it was good. It was good to be there. Okay, that's it for the mayor's report. Questions of the mayor? Hearing none. Fiscal officer, you're up.
I distributed my monthly report to mayor and council. I don't know if there are any questions. I did want to let you know that the auditor of state will be on site tomorrow, and hopefully that's the last day on site, and then they hope to wrap up the rest of the audit. The street commissioner asked me to let you know that the 3 trees in the Manor Notch have over there have been planted, so that's done. And then he also submitted the 3 quotes for the roof for the service building to me, so I'll have to. They range anywhere from $26,000 to $38,000, so I'll have to talk to the properties committee and get what you want me to put in the budget. And the budget sheets were distributed, and I'm waiting for some numbers from some of the committees. The engineers contract, finance met today, and we went over some of the things that they had contributions for. So the things I'm still waiting on, I'll send emails to those committees, and so that we can work on finishing up the budget. And that's all I have.
It's just audit people, it's not the state auditor that comes.
It's audit people.
Okay.
But I'm going Wednesday to the MFOA meeting in Richfield with the auditor state will be there
And that's what
with finance people.
it's M fiscal officer.
Fiscal Officers
Okay.
Association.
All right.
Looking at the income tax, January, February, March, we set records for boy. Things have slowed down since then.
And I did get, if you look, I did give you a report that I get from CCA that kind of shows you where it compares 21 to 22, 23. So I'm going through some of the reports from them to help us estimate what we'll bring in next year, but you never know. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, and I also this time around gave you the history further back. I usually only go back 5 years. So I went back to 2007 when I started putting this report together. And just to show, there is kind of a cycle, but sometimes there's not. Like in July of 2007 was the 1 month we received $165, and that was because we owed a resident a $125,000 refund. So things can happen, so that's why I always warn, be careful and cautious. So it'll give you a better idea of what the history of the collections are.
So right now, I think we're up 130,000 compared to last year, which is probably going to be one of our record years.
I think so.
So good. You're going to a lunch, and I'm sure that's going to be the discussion
Yeah, I'm sure.
about what everybody else is doing.
Well, and, I just wanted to provide some info from the Ohio Municipal League meeting is that
some of the municipalities throughout the state of Ohio are seeing an increase in folks being called back to physical work locations. So that may, as we go forward, a lot of that is dependent on our local businesses and what they broker with their employees, but we may see some impact as a result.
Exactly. We've benefited from people working from home, obviously, but that's the warning I've kind of been giving, because as people get called back to work, we'll lose that money, so.
Questions of the fiscal officer? Hearing none, we're at the finance committee.
Thank you, Mayor. You have in your packet, received the September 2023 financials. So at this time, I would like to make a motion to acknowledge receipt and review and approval of those financials.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Additionally, received the information regarding the credit card report. And so I'll make a motion to approve the October 23, 2023 credit card report.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Thank you. The Finance Committee met this afternoon, so minutes of that meeting will be forthcoming. Mostly the discussion centered around the 2024 budget, line items that were missing and things that we needed to address there. We also addressed the Thrasher Dinsmore contract for 2024. And the Finance Committee would like to make a recommendation that council approve that contract. I know we are going to have a second reading on that tonight, but we are in concurrence that needs to go forward. Solicitor, I need to ask a question. We talked about amending the ordinance for the CCA. Okay. And so do you want an approval from council to go ahead and do that
That would be
tonight?
great. Authorization to amend those sections.
Okay.
Going into effect in January.
So, the CCA, the collection process by which we receive tax monies, there are new ordinances, to the Ohio, new amendments to the Ohio Revised Code for this, and therefore we need to make amendments to our ordinances to be in compliance. And so our motion would be to authorize the solicitor to choose the appropriate language to update our ordinances to be in compliance with state law. So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Right, is this about the state collecting our tax money, or is that, a couple of years ago, there was a bunch of bills in the legislature whereby the state would collect local tax?
Right, no, that's
That
not.
never came to happen, right?
No, and there's still a court case pending on the physical location and situs
Yeah.
still, so that actually might change because the remote location is actually in this new law. And so I wonder if we'll see changes still, if in fact the Supreme Court comes back at a certain time. So, no, those are not the same things.
These changes more pertain to, the state has limited the amount we're allowed to charge for penalties for late filing. It used to be so much, a certain percentage per month. Now it's $25 maximum, no matter how many months. So the state imposed a lot of restrictions and everybody has to comply. So once she gets that drafted up, we'll share it.
Okay. Further comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Okay. As we come to the end of the year, it's always our duty to review finances with regard to employment of our village personnel and to affect increases. As we mentioned in the last council meeting, our healthcare costs increased 7.7% over last year. And so That wasn't as much as the year before, but it's still significant. And we're anticipating other increased employee costs. So it is the recommendation of finance that we approve a 3% salary increase for all village employees effective January 1st, 2024.
Motion, is that,
And so I'll make that motion.
and I second the motion.
Discussion.
This is something we've often discussed beforehand in executive session because it deals with employee compensation. Is this a departure from that past practice?
I wasn't aware that that was a practice that,
We normally, if it's across the board, normally it's actually not proper executive session. If it's about one individual employee, that is proper executive session. There's case law on that. I think in the past, actually, we tried to go under, if I recall, under a blanket increase for all, and actually we did not.
And then last year, we did it in
Was it
open
last year?
session.
Yeah.
Last year, we did open session.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
thank you. Subject to Councilman Galicki's comments, I believe that's all I have.
Nothing further.
All right, Solicitor, you're up again.
I just wanted to report that the House passed the amendment to the law and the NIST that we had previously regarding competitive bidding threshold. I think it still has to go to the Senate, but that was the last that we had heard. So if you recall, they do not include villages that do not have an administrator in the increased threshold for $75,000. But it sounds like it's going to happen this year. So I'll let you know. That's it.
Okay, we are at the street committee.
Okay, the street committee, we have two things to take care of tonight. One is to handle the first payment for the roads program, and the other one is regarding the schools purchasing salt through the village, like as they do usually. So I will start with a motion to approve the payment application number 1 in the amount of $192,126.51 to Specialized Construction for the 2023 road program. Second.
Discussion. They do a wonderful job. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, next, motion to approve allowing Spring Falls schools to purchase salt from the village. Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Other than that, the next streets committee meeting is November the 3rd at 7:30 a.m. Pending anything from Councilman Porter, that's all I have. Nothing to add, thank you.
Questions of our street committee? Building committee, Chris, you're still up.
Building committee, okay. 2 weeks ago we met, we talked about the inspection solutions contract and potentially going over. As you probably saw in your packet, the annual billing for $48,250. We are now $1,000 away from that. We've allocated $47,250 to date, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So as we discussed before, there were some options. How do we move forward? Do we stop all inspections for the rest of the year? Or do we make some amendments to the budget? What I think we've concluded we can do is with council's approval, I'm suggesting that we increase the annual payment this year, or annual amount to be billed, up to $60,000 for inspection solutions. So that will cover the retainer for three more months. We pay the January one has to be paid on December 31st.
Yes, January was okay, December.
So it gets billed this year. With that, there are funds already available in the building department that haven't been used this year, but we would have to reallocate some of the monies from the zoning inspector into the other line item because that is under salaries and benefits. Therefore, we cannot use it unless it's moved. So we'd have to amend the allocation within that.
Do you want to make that motion, Chris?
Well, first we have to make a motion to allow the adjustment of the contract this year for inspection solutions. And then we'd have to move to amend the appropriations, correct?
Under ordinances.
And that'll be under ordinances.
Yep.
So the first motion, let me go to my handy dandy notes here, thanks to the solicitor and the fiscal officer. I I move to approve an amount not to exceed $60,000 for the anticipated billing over the contract's billing limitations amount for inspection solutions services through the end of the year, 12/31/23.
Second.
Discussion.
Did you give the dollar amount?
$60,000, not to exceed $60,000.
Thank you.
Since this is a motion, just with the contract, or do we have to do roll call?
No, it's just a motion, so it's all.
Motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
So just so we know what the difference of that will be is $11,750, just so we're on the same page.
Let's hope it's enough.
But it's just a not to exceed.
Correct. Other than that, the next building committee meeting is November the 2nd at 8 a.m. in the building department.
Questions of the building committee? Chief, you're up.
Thank you. One of the topics I wanted to discuss with council was the fact that our traffic light, the old traffic light, did not sell on Gov Deals. I was looking for a recommendation, and my suggestion would be, if you were interested in doing so, is to reduce the starting bid from 1,000 to 500 to see if we can get any traction on that. I think that's going to be has to be a new approval, I think.
Right, we wrote the legislation for it, 'cause it's,
You're talking just the lights, not those.
Talking about everything.
No lights and poles.
Lights, poles, the controller cabinet, some cabling. I'm surprised that some municipality didn't.
Me
Pretty
too.
good deal.
bid on it. Yeah,
Just even to scrap it. Is there money?
there could be,
Okay.
there could be. I'm not sure about scrap, but I know there are a lot of collectors that would be interested in the, signal heads. So maybe if we drop that price down a little bit and go from 1,000 to 500, we may be able to get rid of it. It's a lot of stuff for us to move. We can't really ship it, so it's gotta be a local pickup. So it would make more sense to drop the price and see if we can get it out of here.
our other question and discussion was, so now we do everything on Gov Deals.
Right.
And we were wondering, maybe a collector isn't looking at Gov Deals. Are we allowed to put it on eBay or something?
So I think that, I'll have to look at the actual statute. I know it says internet auctions, and I don't know if that's defined anywhere. I mean, we've always used Gov Deals.
Right, and we do have legislation that's how we
Right, we
advertise
might
it.
have to just change our legislation. I could look and just see what other internet auctions. I would actually, my knee-jerk reaction would be absolutely eBay would apply. We would just have to change our ordinance. However, I don't know if that's considered an internet auction. If it does, if the words say governmentally approved internet auction, I don't know.
Okay, so we got 3 weeks, you could come back with changing legislation.
We can drop the price to 500
That's okay.
either way,
Okay,
You can do that.
and then see what happens.
So for the purposes of this new auction, do we have to go another 15-day minimum on the auction? Or can we make it a shorter duration?
Are those Gov Deals regulations or
No,
ours?
those are
Yeah.
So we have a 15-day minimum on, so since it didn't sell, I didn't know if we had any,
I think that was a requirement for the state, if you do it on the Gov Deals, it
Well, I
has
can
to.
relist it at 500
Okay.
if you guys feel that that's.
Motion to approve,
No, that's an
Second.
ordinance under ordinances.
it's under ordinances,
Mhm.
Okay.
okay?
I do have one question. Is there a way to find out if there's activity of people looking at?
Yeah.
Oh, there
There
is.
were over 200 visitors to the site, but again,
I'm just
nobody
surprised,
bid.
yeah.
No bids.
Okay.
all right, so in 3
It
weeks.
occurs to me if you just offered the traffic light.
We could break it up too. We
Yeah,
could break it
collectors
up.
might want the traffic light, but not the cable and
Right.
poles. I mean, a municipality might want
And I've
that.
got photographs of everything, so I can break it up into several different auctions if you'd like me to try that
I
too.
mean, that'd be a bad idea.
You wanna try that?
250 each or something?
Yeah, I'll make it, I can make it what we asked for the minimum. We'll start there. How's that sound?
Sounds
That's
good.
great.
Okay. I'll break it up.
All right, thank you, chief, and we'll have something in 3 weeks that we can do that. Okay, chief, what else?
That's all I have.
All right, questions of the police chief. Safety committee, Dennis.
Yeah, the safety committee minutes and meeting minutes were last submitted during the last council meeting. So we have not met as a safety committee since the last council meeting. But I did want to share one tidbit of information that was a cause for concern from some municipalities at the OML. And first of all, I'll say that I think most public servants throughout the state of Ohio are all supportive of our police, fire, and first responders. There is a proposition to increase the contribution for the police retirement funds, okay? And, you know, while it is great for individual police officers, one thing that I took away from the conference is there's a lot of concern among some municipalities, especially smaller municipalities, of the impact that it will have on their budgets, and to the point where some villages and smaller cities may have to consider disestablishing their local police departments and going with sheriff services. So there's some unintended consequences involved in that proposal, but it is serious, and one of the things that it highlights again is how fortunate we all are in the village of South Russell to have the financial position that we're in. We are very comfortable compared to a lot of other municipalities.
I appreciate that. Did they say what what percentage they were gonna increase it to, or they won?
I think they were talking 24%.
It's currently 19 and a half, and I believe the increase, it will be over a few years, 26 and a half.
It was
And
26.
it wasn't that long ago that they increased it to 19 and a half, was it?
Correct, it was a few years back.
5?
It's in committee now.
Yeah.
But it is a significant jump.
You know, on the other side of the coin, you know, it may have some unintended consequences that nobody ever thought about, so.
Thanks for that.
Questions of the safety committee? HR committee, you're up.
HR, we met with Jim Budzik on October 12th. This chairperson was really slack in getting minutes out, so it looks like Danielle did most of that for me.
I just forwarded the ones you sent out late this
Okay.
afternoon.
When Jim was here, let's see, we had the chief and we discussed some things that the chief needs for the officers, and that was an increase for clothing. Maybe you want to go over this, chief. You can probably do it better than I can.
Sure. We were in the finance committee meeting, we wanted to increase the officers' individual uniform allowances. So currently we're at 800, we'd like to have that increased to 1,200. And the part-timers are on a scale based on how many hours they work, and each one of those segments would increase by $100 based on the amount of hours that they work. So I do have a slight adjustment in my budget to accommodate for that.
Do you want to talk about the vests just a little bit?
The external carrier?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are looking at moving to an external carrier. It's a uniform style. It's not like the tactical vest, but it's more or less for comfort. But it replicates a uniform shirt with a pleated design. So from a distance, you may not even notice the difference, but it's, again, more for comfort of the officers. Instead of having the body armor under the uniform, it'll be external so that it can be removed if necessary. But we're going to stick with that traditional uniform look.
And that's nice, you know, just for your guys' comfort. The other thing is and I think I finally have them parceled out. Gurney is asking for a school safety officer, SSO, whereas in effect at the high school and middle school is an SRO, school resource officer. So that all you're doing is accounting for the differences in age and what the young ones need from very young, which is just protection, and the older ones, which can find their own mischief and so on and so forth. So he's done a lot of work with just trying to he's written the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, and I've thought about this a lot because these things didn't exist when my kids were in school for the most part. I think they did have one at the high school at the end, and of course, kids like David try to avoid that as much as possible. Anyway, I think it's really nice. I'm in back of all that we can do for Gurney. That'll be a nice position.
It will be, it's being driven by the public and current times. So we are waiting to hear back from the school at this point. We sent them the MOU and the financials, and we are waiting to hear back from them. And then once we do, I will come to council and ask for approval for the position.
Great. Sounds good. Does anybody have any questions about that particular? The chief's done a lot of work with it. Let's see, we had, continuing with our friend Jim Boots, we just have gone through the handbook line by line, and it's actually been very interesting and very informative to me. And it's a little bit tedious, but it's also very interesting as you go through it, because how we describe things affects all our employees and the people around us. And I think, let's see, social media policy, don't do anything stupid on social media. I think that's about it. We did talk about the raises, so we've already covered that. HR will meet again on November 2nd, and that should be at 1 o'clock.
We have a couple motions.
Yes, we do.
All right.
Let's just move to approve the healthcare renewal at 7.7% with Medical Mutual. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Danielle, thank you for all your work in looking that up too. We have a motion to hold a special meeting on Friday, December 15th, 2023 at noon for the purpose of holding a holiday luncheon. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Okay, any questions of our HR committee?
Chris, do you have anything else?
No, thank you.
We're at the property committee. Ruth, you're still up.
I know. Let's see. I think we covered this at the last meeting. We had Robbie Arnold and we discussed the vaults and came to a decision that we didn't want those for the cremains only. We were talking about the cremains. I spoke with Tim today, and as far as the masons and the entire bench flag structure and so on, the only thing they're waiting for is the 25-foot long flagpole that has to come on a semi, and it should be here anytime, and we really want to get on that. The next property committee will be on November 2nd at 10 a.m.
Charlie Robinson.
Charlie Robinson has been such a good kid to work with. He's the one that put the kiosk at Rarick Cemetery, and he called me up and said, Mrs. Kavanaugh, I just want to donate money so that it can go to continuing care of the cemetery. And I don't know that I made it clear to Danielle. He wanted that to stay in Rarick if he could. And we just
Well, we
said,
only have one cemetery fund.
Okay.
So it's all, but it would stay with the cemetery.
okay, all right. So for a kid, that's kind of a whopper check,
Well, that's,
$743.
and that's a requirement of their project. Whatever they,
The Eagle Scout in my life didn't have any money left over, so. All right, well, anyway, Charlie has been, I just wish I could get a wand and make a lot of kids like that. And let's have a move to accept the donation from Charlie Robinson in the amount of $743.30 to the cemetery fund. So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Just one note, don't we have some headstones to fix over there?
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you could do, he's good with that, yeah. So he lives not far and can walk, probably doesn't appreciate me saying this, he can go through the woods to get, and he's been doing this since he was a kid with safety and with respect. He loves that little cemetery, and I'm just so glad.
So is he, I apologize, is his donation restricted to Rarick, or that's what he would like it?
We'd like
use
it to
for?
be,
I see,
yes,
okay. But there's no
yes.
like restriction?
It's not.
Even though it's one fund?
So if we have, after all the cemetery brouhaha,
Yes.
I'm not throwing any rocks in the water on this one, that's fine, we'll just keep it there.
So there's work to be done over there, so I suspect it's $700 and some dollars.
It'll go.
Will go a long way to help.
To fix
Rarick.
those headstones.
Yeah.
yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Thank you, Charlie.
Can I make a comment? Ruth, you said that now the community doesn't want the vaults, but we just passed legislation requiring vaults for the cremains.
We did?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think in the cemetery rules, and almost.
Yes, we did.
And that's why I'm like, did we, yeah.
Because that was one of the changes in the rules.
Well, wait, we have, but I guess the difference was, we don't want to be the purveyors of the vaults. They can get them from the funeral directors or even online. It was us being the sellers.
Yeah, I think that was the issue,
Yeah.
that we would
We don't
not
need to be the middle.
sell the vaults that the funeral
Thank you for
parlors
correcting.
and/or whoever the supplier is.
Well, that
would
was the
provide.
question at the last meeting when the rules got adopted, and then we were gonna look in, Tim and me, and, we're gonna discuss with properties the cost of them, because they range from $100 to $300.
Yeah, they
but-
just can't be peanut butter jar. They can't be glass. We had
But wood.
we had a nice thorough discussion with Rob Arnold. That guy's got a lot of knowledge.
Well, we don't provide the full casket vaults,
No,
No.
so why would we
so
do?
why would we do the cremation?
Yeah,
And we,
That
since
means we
that,
want to have different ones than, I've been through this. There's quite the selection out there, depending on what you want.
and since that was adopted, we did have a cremain burial, and they did ask, and we told them they need a vault, so they had the cremains put, there's a cremain vault.
Yeah.
And they got that from the, so.
Sure.
thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you
Property
for
committee?
clearing that up. That is enough from me.
All right, questions of the property committee? Ruth, you're not done yet.
Parks Committee is happily on hiatus. There isn't a whole lot going on there right now. We're still waiting to hear though about that bathroom grant. And
Yes.
We
Well,
haven't-
I called, the second time I called, she said by the end of the month.
okay, so do I need to do a follow-up on that? Because the end of the
No,
month.
no,
is-
they'll make the decisions by the end of the month.
Okay.
I don't know how they announce it. Probably we'll find out from Chagrin River Watershed Partners. They'll find out
We'll
first.
hear a great big flushing sound, that'll do it.
Let's hope.
So, yeah, 16,000 would be nice.
Sure will.
Questions of the Parks Committee? Public Utilities Committee, you're up.
Yes, sir. We met on October 13th and again this evening shortly. Minutes were included in your packet. For the meeting tonight, the discussion simply was on the easements for the pond assessments in draftsmanship and how narrow we wanted to define the property that we wanted access to for evaluating the ponds and for easements concerning 500 Manor Brook. So that's what we discussed. And the next meeting of the Public Utilities Committee is Friday, November 3rd at 9 a.m.
Questions of the Public Utilities Committee?
Subject to Councilman Porter's comments.
Just want to note, the individual or the company that Councilwoman Kavanaugh referenced me to, I got a hold of them, they called back. They should have a proposal for us at our November 3rd meeting.
This is regarding solar.
Regarding solar, and of note, the purveyor is a South Russell resident. Not that that would particularly help him, but of note.
Any other questions of the Public Utilities Committee? Okay, Ruth, you're going to do this second reading because you started it, and then we want to, we'll work you through it. Basically, we want to end it tonight.
Sounds like it.
You got it.
Second reading of an ordinance authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter in an agreement with Thrasher Dinsmore and Dolan to act as the village's solicitor for the time period January 1, 2024 through December 31st, 2025, and declaring an emergency. And I'd like to move to waive readings, it sounds like.
We need a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Colicki.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Move to adopt.
Move to adopt, sorry, slowing down.
Second.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Colicki.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Ordinance passes this. We got us, or you got you for at least another year. So thank you very much for all you do for us.
Bridie, the hometown lawyer.
2 years. Okay, Dennis, can you do this next one since it's a safety issue?
Sure.
I'd like to introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance awarding the bid of Sarshone Ford Lincoln of Alliance, Ohio for the retail purchase of a 2024 Ford E450 cutaway dual rear wheel drive with a 14-foot workport service body vehicle, approving the retail purchase agreement between the Village of South Russell and Sarshone Ford Lincoln of Alliance, approving the retail purchase of the Ford vehicle in the amount of $82,641.25, authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to execute the retail purchase agreement and declaring an emergency. So moved.
Do we want to move to waive readings also?
I'd also like to add that I'd like to waive to further readings. So
Okay.
moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Stuckey,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Move to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Stuckey,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
For those who may be watching, this $82,000 vehicle, we only received one bid because it's such a specialty item, as Dennis elaborated. Chief, can you talk a little bit again about the financing of this?
So this is being purchased by a donation from a family member of one of our officers to be used for the drone team, which I oversee through Batch.
So this cost us
Almost nothing.
almost nothing.
Absolutely not.
And we want you to extend our great thanks for this.
Yes.
They were instrumental in naming the vehicle for us.
Great. Until 20 years ago, I wouldn't have known that a 450 is a really high-powered thing.
Okay, Dennis, can you do this next one? We're going to sell the traffic lights.
Sure. I'd like to introduce and consider for adoption a resolution authorizing the sale of personal property not needed by the village and declaring an emergency. And as the mayor indicated, it deals with the excess traffic lights. So moved. And waive, like to waive further reading.
Hang on.
Are we going forward with that? I thought we were gonna break it up.
Well,
Does he need to word it differently?
And that's what I.
No, we can try this before we.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can try, we can try the breaking it apart first, because then I don't have to change anything. I will still keep the limit, $1,000.
I mean, my interpretation was it was still all the same equipment.
Yeah.
And whether we break it up into 3 or 2 or
but we
whatever.
changed the limit
I thought we changed the limit. though,
to
too,
500.
right? 1,000.
The minimum.
The
It's
minimum.
not articulated in the
Right,
ordinance.
it isn't, right.
Okay.
But when you just brought it to our attention, right, so I would think that,
So do we have to state it?
I think we should.
So what would it be?
to 4.
Sale of personal property, not to ask more than $250 per piece or something, per
Yeah, we can
per
do that.
lot?
Minimum bid
We
of 2.
talked about that, but we didn't decide. to do
Oh, I
that.
thought we did, okay.
We're allowing the chief, I think, to split these up, sell them individually if you can, for the highest price you can, based on this ordinance that we're about to vote on. Isn't that what we're
And
doing?
that was under the assumption the opening bid was gonna be $250 per.
Yeah, so maybe
Per
they
device.
sell them all,
And we can try that. We can give that a shot.
It sounds like hers is more of a legal thing, like per lot or something.
understood. The only thing on the exhibit is the traffic light.
But it does have the approximate value of $500.
Yeah,
So we have to probably just change it
Change it to 4.
to 4, right? 4 things, it's just,
Well, we've got a lot more than just 4 things,
Oh, that's
though.
right.
So there are a number of things, but, we can just try and.
Just say per
Parcel
lot.
it out.
It's a traffic light, it's the whole thing, like the whole assembly. The poles, the gear, the box, the light.
Why don't we try that? Why don't we try to go with the 500 and let's try to relist it at 500 right now?
The
That
whole
way,
thing?
yeah, the whole thing. Because
Yeah.
we could do that based on what this says, or you can change it to, whatever you guys.
Why don't we amend the ordinance to do the 500 you're talking about for the whole thing? But if that fails, break it up, 250 base bid for each of the 4 or 5 groups that you're selling.
Okay.
It's not in the ordinance now,
right, it's not.
so that we have
You
to
would just
go.
amend it,
Yeah.
and then we would go
I
back.
mean, if Dennis is okay with amending it,
You know, so do we want to amend it for $250 per item? And are we talking 4 items, the 2 traffic lights, the poles, the controller? If we're doing as Bridie suggested, how are we cutting the baby, so to speak?
Well, the first thing is sell it all for 500 or better. If that doesn't work,
Which is how
sell the
we.
pieces individually for 250 or better.
And we've got multiple pieces too, so we could just start with this lowering the amounts to 500.
Main thing is to move it, get it out of
Is
there.
that okay?
That's what this is.
And that's what the ordinance currently has.
Okay.
So currently it states that, so we're okay just keeping the current ordinance.
Correct, but there was just discussion as you.
All right.
All right,
Okay, so if that doesn't work,
Then we can.
chief is coming back in 2 weeks.
Or 3 weeks, if their next
Or 3
meeting.
weeks.
But yes, that's correct.
I mean, the way I see the amendment is, you don't have to come back and ask us to break it up if it doesn't sell.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of where I'm going with this.
You think so?
I don't think so.
I don't think we
Because it's
can.
written for the $500.
We'll leave it as is.
Okay.
If it
We'll
doesn't
leave
sell,
it
it's
as is.
Come
And
back.
if the chief doesn't sell it, he'll be back.
Come on back.
Yeah.
Because then you have
Which
to
is
sell
someone
it.
that would be nice, I want to get rid of it.
So moved.
I think then, move to waive is what you're reading.
Yeah.
Yes, we already did.
Move.
And who was the second
We
for
don't have a second.
Second.
Second, okay, now we need roll call.
I remember this mess. Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Licky,
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
To adopt.
Move to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Licky,
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
All right, resolution passes. Thank you. Chris Berger, you got the next 2 big ones.
Introduce and consider for adoption a resolution declaring it necessary and determining to proceed with acquiring, constructing, installing, equipping, improving, maintaining, and repairing improvements necessary for making improvements to abate erosion along properties within the village of South Russell, included within the Geauga County Erosion Control Special Improvement District, Inc., together with all necessary pertinent, whatever that is, thereto, and declaring an emergency.
And move.
Move to adopt.
Move to waive.
Move to waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Licky,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Licky,
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
For those of you out there, 29 people who own condominiums in the Manabrook Gardens Homeowners Association are paying $7,000. Have agreed they will pay $7,000 each to improve their property through what's called an ESID. It's very similar if community would have to go to sewers, instead of having one huge bill, you put this on your taxes. The auditor puts it on your taxes. They will pay this off over 15 years. They pay the interest that went out on the bonds, but you're paying this. This is a very wonderful thing. The ESID, we started, Mark is the vice president of the ESID. We got this with Bainbridge and Russell Townships, and it allows you to make improvements without a huge financial cost. You can do this individually. You can do it as these 29 condominium association people did it, but it's an easy way to get improvements without a huge financial upfront cost. If you move in the meantime, that cost assessed stays on your property, and that falls onto the new homeowner. Okay, Chris, we're still in the second part of this now. For the next, that ordinance passed, and now we're at the next one. And that was a resolution.
That was the resolution
Yes.
adopted. Okay.
This is the ordinance.
Now, introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance levying special assessments for acquiring, constructing, installing, equipping, improving, maintaining, and repairing improvements necessary for making improvements to abate erosion along properties within the village of South Russell, included within the Geauga County Erosion Control Special Improvement District, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto and declaring an emergency. Move to waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Stuckey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Stuckey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
All right, the resolution passed, and now the ordinance passed. And Dennis, can you do this next?
Sure. I'd like to introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance approving the updated memorandum of understanding as a term regarding the deployment of a school resource officer, authorizing the mayor to execute the updated memorandum of understanding on behalf of the village of South Russell, authorizing the police chief to execute the updated memorandum of understanding on behalf of the village of South Russell Police Department, declaring an emergency, waiving further readings, so moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Stuckey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Stuckey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Ordinance passes. We need to amend appropriations.
Introduce and consider for adoption an amendment to the 2023 annual appropriations for the building fund, decreasing salaries and benefits $6,500 and increasing other $6,500. So move, declaring emergency and move to waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Stuckey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Stuckey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance passes. We've received a late ordinance. Talk about electric bills. And this is public utilities. You got it, Chris.
Yeah, an ordinance approving the competitive retail electric service contract between Nextera Energy Services Ohio LLC, authorizing the mayor to execute the contract on behalf of the village of South Russell, declaring an emergency, waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Stuckey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Stuckey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Ordinance passes. That concludes all ordinances and resolutions with the bills list. Dennis is going to take the bills list.
I'd like to make a motion to ratify the bills list of 15 October 2023 and the amount of $108,110.80. So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Bell.
Bell.
Discussion? All those in favor say
No, we have
aye.
to do roll call.
Roll call.
Because of Chris.
Berger.
Abstain.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Stuckey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Motion passes. We were at new other.
Bell.
None.
Berger.
None.
Kavanaugh.
Just a quick comment. I want to thank the chief for the respect he gave to Kurt Lederer today with many of the officers being with him. And Kurt was police chief all the years that I was on council in the 90s, and he did a great job. And his oldest friends were there today and some of his family, and he's gone on to his reward. So thank you, chief.
Stuckey.
None.
Porter.
None.
That's everybody.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
That's 8:02. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Aye, aye, aye.
Thank you all.
Well,